Hi, my name is CJ, and today I'm going to be talking about the whole Meninist movement. For you, those of you who don't know, Meninist is basically this movement advocating men's rights. It's feminism only for men. Um, it's just stupid, is what it is, really. Basically it's a bunch of men whining about how other people have more rights. And as a general rule, it's, mostly white men whining about how other people have rights now and that's infringing upon their rights and meh, meh, meh. Um, the way that I feel about it is it's like that episode of American Dad, if you watch that show. There's an episode where the main character, Stan Smith, he gets a best friend.
And his best friend's a Satanist.
Right, and his best friend, well, not until the end of the episode, but yeah, his best friend winds up turning out to be a Satanist. Like, that's the whole thing about, their disagreement is at first he's an atheist, and then Stan does all this crazy shit to him, and he ends up dying and comes back. It goes to hell, and comes back and he's a Satanist because he went to hell, made a deal with the devil. But anyways, that's not the point of what I'm bringing up. The point of what I'm bringing up is in that episode, they're talking, and for those of you who don't know the show, it's about this super conservative CIA spook, Stan Smith, and like I said, he makes a best friend in this episode, and they're having this conversation, and they go, I hate how white men don't have all the power anymore. And the other guy goes, yeah, I know, it's horrible how we only have most of the power and we don't have all of the power anymore. That's basically what Meninist is all about. An actual example of it is one of my old English professors, she's a black lady. And she was teaching about, black rights and female rights and whatnot at one of her old universities. And one of the kids there, he was a white guy, and he's like, well, why should I care about this? This has nothing to do with me. And, that's the general feeling of these Meninists, is why should I care about it? And it's like, well, it's not that they feel like, oh, I'm being excluded from this because this is about, another group of people. This is about females, or this is about, colored folk. So I shouldn't care. But the thing is, our whole society is geared towards white males. Like that guy who complained in that one class, like, yeah, that's one class. Ooh, that's not about white males. Every other class is about white males. Whether or not it's actively about white males, it's about white males. You go to a history class, what are you learning the history about? White males who went to war. You go to an English class, what are you learning about? The history of white males who wrote books, and the three females who actually mattered in the popular mind, who also wrote books. And the only reason why they really matter is because when their book was originally published, we all thought they were a white man. So they mattered. And then we found out they were female, and we were like, well, we already said the writing's good. I guess we have to keep saying it's good even though they have a vagina. Oh, well. And that's the way, pretty much our entire society is. And these Meninists are getting upset because people are like, hey, other people should have equal rights too. Meninists are getting upset because, women want equal pay for doing the same work. Oh dear God, that really imposes upon my rights that women want to be paid $1 for every dollar that I make. Wait a second. I don't think that does. And that's, they're just bitching that, oh, now all of a sudden other people are getting attention besides white males. They're bitching about that too. And the fact of the matter is, that is something to bitch about, that other people aside from white males are now getting attention. Not because they're getting attention, but because they weren't getting attention before. Because nobody would have cared about so much shit if, if it hadn't have been done by a white male. I mean, shit, like I said, I've made the joke, about 3 female writers that people care about, but, look at Mary Shelley. She was an amazing writer and an amazing poet. If you read her poetry, she is great. She is much better than her husband ever was, to be perfectly honest. And the only thing we know her for, at least in the popular mindset, is Frankenstein. And the only reason why we know her for that is because when it was originally published, it was published under her husband's name. Just so that way it would get published. Because her husband was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is the best thing you've written. And I'm going to publish it under my name so that way, people will actually read it. And that honestly was the only reason why people read it. Because if it had been originally published under her name, nobody would have read it. Because they would have been like, oh, it's written by one of those people with a vagina. Who cares? Which, is ridiculous. And these Meninists feel like, because all of a sudden, people have started caring about people other than heterosexual white males, that it's imposing upon them, when in all reality, it's not. In all reality, we should have cared about these people all along. It shouldn't have been an issue. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what else to say on this subject, but that's about it. Thank you very much for listening. If you'd like to hear more, let me know. If you didn't like what I was talking about, go ahead and let me know. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't, dislike it, whatever it's called. If you like what I talk about, go ahead and subscribe. Yeah. Thank you very much. Oh, my girlfriend wants to show you the cat, but it's way over there. So far away. And it really doesn't want to be on camera.
She's just so cute.
Right. But yeah. And if you have any, thing you want to hear me talk about, anything at all, literally any topic, go ahead, leave a comment or message me, whatever, and let me know you'd like to hear about it, and I'll talk about it. If you don't have anything in particular, but you just like to hear me talk about, whatever I want to talk about, let me know, and I'll do videos more often. Right now I'm not doing them very often just because I only do them when there's something that I legitimately want to talk about. And even then, I only do them about 10% of the time, even when there's something that I want to talk about. But yeah, thank you for watching.